78 strikeouts, and we are ready to go. Vandegrift at the top. She is to Alabama what Coffey is to LSU. This young lady has reached safely in 26 straight games. During that streak, she's hitting .453. And she is a tall leadoff hitter. There's a hard strike from Berzon. 19 walks over that period of time, 26 runs scored. Oh, and by the way, she loves to run on the base paths. 30 stolen bases. That's during that streak. For the season, she's got 45, and nobody in the country has more.
Impressive showing for her to lead things off for the Tide.
Indeed. You want to keep that young lady off the base paths. Vandegrift, a freshman from Bogart, Georgia. What a future she has in Tuscaloosa.
Rise ball there from Berzon. Very aggressive swing, pulled into the corner. Berzon started the season 13-0 for LSU. The 6-foot junior, 5-2 in SEC play. Opponents hitting .240 against her.
Most of the time, she has been 24-karat gold. And she gets Vandegrift to reach for one. That was away from the left-handed hitter and down on the knees. You can make a living with that pitch.
She did a nice job of challenging her inside on the previous pitch, and then watch her finish outside off speed, gone fishing.
That was a borderline strike ball, but Vandegrift with 2 strikes did not want to let it pass. Here's Pruitt. Larissa Pruitt, the right fielder. First pitch swinging. A chance for McKee. She makes it over to Edwards for the second out.
Maddox McKee getting her second start in a row. Had a nice week. And as you see, the defensive starters for the Tigers.
Coffey and Edwards on the corners. Hodge and McKee are the middle infielders. Leno, Lassiter, and Ruderty patrol the pasture from left to right. And Bergeron is behind the plate. That's tight to Hevlin. Every positive adjective that she has been described this year is apt. She's having one whale of a season.
She'll be busy, too, trying to slow down these Crimson Tide runners when they get on base. This team leads the SEC in steals.
Hevlin had a career-high 2 doubles and 3 walks last year in the final game against LSU.
That was an incredible showing in the Southeastern Conference Tournament. Sydney Berzon, 14-inning complete game victory over the Tide, a 3-2 victory for LSU. That set the record all time.
Yeah,
most innings pitched.
That one is still in the record books and may be for a while. The 3-0 pitch. That's a high strike. Heivillin. Hevlin, a senior from Three Rivers, Michigan. Coffey takes the one hopper, sets and fires the strike over to Edwards. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning on a mere 11 pitches. So Berzon off to a good start. A strikeout, a couple of ground balls. 2.43 ERA. She's not a down ball pitcher. She does not throw a lot of drops. She's got one in her repertoire, but doesn't throw it that often. Mostly the rise ball and also a pretty good curve. And she will change some speeds.
Winstead has pitched in 5 SEC games this year, but only one of them was a start. That came against Georgia in the opener. She went just 1 2/3, 3 hits, and took the loss.
And Garrett, as you and I were perusing this roster and talking to some of the Alabama people, they, to the man or to the woman, were certainly saying this is an Alabama team that's going to pitch by committee. It would be very doubtful that Winstead works past the 3rd or 4th inning.
Yeah, they have 4 different pitchers that have started in the SEC.
Coffey.
So good at putting the ball in play, and then she uses the speed. This one gets into shallow center field, and how aggressive making the turn at first and going head first into the bag.
So Danica Coffey never checked up, saw the opportunity and took it and made it easily. She reaches safely 60% of the time this year when she leads off an inning. Lassiter rips one to right field. Coffey coming to the plate. It's cut off on the infield, and the Tigers, after 2 batters, lead 1-0. Coffey with a double off the glove of the second baseman. Lassiter follows with a sharp RBI single to right.
Two Tigers swinging at the first pitch. Lassiter's been on a hot streak. She went 4 of 8 in her last 2 games with 2 runs scored. She'll send this one to the opposite field, and running hard all the way is Danica Coffey. Pruitt is able to field this on a single hop. Can't get it in time. She'll score standing up.
So LSU uses its speed and some timely hitting early. Coffey was able to get into scoring position with that glancer off the glove of Haviland, the second baseman. And then Lassiter follows with the RBI single to right. Here's Bergeron. Now Tori Edwards getting a lot of headlines behind Bergeron, and well-deserved, no doubt. But Bergeron is having a breakout season as well.
Currently third in the SEC with a .566 OBP, a 3-year starter.
She hits it sharply left side. It's through for a base hit. The Tigers have responded with 3 consecutive base hits. So Bergeron, who carried a .423 average to that plate appearance, will see her average rise as she extends the inning with a single.
Nice piece of hitting in between shortstop and third. 3 hits for the Tigers and 1 run scored on 9 pitches that they've seen.
And we will have an early conference in the circle. LSU with 3 consecutive base hits, a run, and a chance to get some more against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tomorrow's game scheduled to start at 6 and Sundays at 4. Here's Edwards. That ball gets away. LSU's base runners are aggressive and they both move up. So the Tigers put runners at second and third with nobody out.
Lassiter, the starting center fielder, now 5 for 5 in stolen bases. Very heads-up base running there. Lynn, Tori Edwards is already third all-time with the most RBIs by a freshman in school history. She has 53. The record was 58, set by Klein back in 04. She needed 69 games to set that record. I'm sure that one's going down.
Edwards has driven in 53 runs in 36 games. 13 home runs this year, among the SEC leaders in that category. Out of Flower Mound, Texas. Most of you know the story. She did not play last year because of a freak foot injury. Actually, a toe ligament was pulled loose as she tripped coming out of the dugout. Got her toe caught in a railing on the steps of the dugout. It stretched it, and she never was able to regain enough usage to play last year. Very, very freaky. But perhaps in retrospect, it's worked out pretty well for this young lady.
I think so. You know, you could have had her in the lineup maybe as the designated player a year ago. Raylene Gutierrez, the redshirt senior at first base, really had that one lined up. But to have her in the lineup this year has really powered LSU. Everyone is benefiting from her hot average.
The 2-2 pitch coming to Glory Torrey. Way wide, it bounces off the screen. They've got the runner hung up between second and third, but now they let her retreat to second base. Bergeron was about to run up the tailpipe of Lassiter, and then everybody got back safely. That ball bounced directly back to the catcher, Valentine.
Just a rise ball that's outside and high, and it quickly got back on the netting. You see LSU caught up in between second and third. They will not throw down.
Edwards with a big rip and can't find it. So a huge strikeout for Winstead. That's her first. And the first out of the game with LSU at the plate. You would think that the Tigers would have an opportunity here to pick up a couple of extra runs, and Rudy very quietly hitting .343. She's an extremely clutch player. 32 driven in. 15 of her 34 hits have been for extra bases, and she does deliver. Ruderty with a ground single up the middle, and LSU has put 2 on the board in the first. Mackenzie Ruderty, Miss Reliable in the middle of that order for a long, long time.
Absolutely. She started over 150 games straight in the outfield, touches this one right back up the middle, and Coach Tarina holds the runner at the corners. With only 1 out in the inning, she's hoping the hit parade can continue. We saw a pair of underclassmen warming up for Alabama in the pen. Jocelyn Brisky, a sophomore, and Brea Hodges, a freshman.
Coffey doubled off the glove of the second baseman Haviland. And we're going to have a new pitcher here as Coffey and Lassiter have scored. Brea Hodges will come on to pitch here in the first. A good start for LSU's Tigers. And we'll take a timeout and resume play from Baton Rouge. LSU 2, Alabama nothing. Game 1 of this 3-game series. We are back to play, and Savannah Bedell, the designated player, has just ripped one to left. As the hit parade continues, Bedell waiting for Hodges, the new pitcher, to get warmed up, and she promptly slaps one to left field. An RBI single for Bedell, scoring Bergeron. The Tigers have put 3 on the board against the Crimson Tide. Hodges out of Dothan, Alabama, a freshman. She already is the second pitcher for the Crimson Tide. Maddox McKee bluffs a bunt and takes a ball.
Hodges has made 6 appearances on the year. 2 were in SEC play, 1 against Mississippi State, the other against Georgia, both in relief.
Her numbers are good, less than a 1 ERA. Now the sample size is small, but nonetheless, she's been impressive in the few innings she's worked this year.
She's facing a hot LSU lineup right now. Already 3 RBI singles in the ballgame. We're still in the bottom of the first.
2 balls and a strike to McKee. Those RBI singles you talked about have come from Lassiter, Bergeron, and Ruderty, or rather Bedell. So Lassiter, Ruderty, and Bedell with the 3 RBI here.
McKee had a nice night Tuesday at McNeese, 2 for 4 with her first career home run.
LSU had to come from a 2-0 deficit in the middle part of that game, and it wound up an easy win for the Tigers, but LSU was not good offensively in the first half of the game.
No, they didn't score a run till the 6th inning. Credit the Cowgirls.
The 3-2 pitch fouled straight back. This Alabama team, 27-13, 4-5 in the league. Vandegrift is in center field. Johnson and Pruitt flank her. Hawkins and Haviland are the middle infielders. Elstead and Dukeshire are on the corners defensively, and Valentine is behind the plate. The 3-2 pitch again, right down Main Street, a call 3rd strike. So McKee walks away without swinging on a 3-2 pitch down the middle.
Payoff pitch, just got the outside corner. So says Heath Walker behind the plate.
That's a good delivery by Hodges. Here's Jaden Leno. Leno has started 31 games now. This is her 35th appearance. She plays a very fine left field and very quietly delivers at the plate.
Yeah, she was 2 for 8 in the weekend series against South Carolina, then went 2 for 4 at McNeese on Tuesday night, hitting .375 as a sophomore.
That's pretty good stuff when you've got .375 hitting 8th and .395 batting 9th.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure to play the outfield for LSU. All the Gold Glovers and All-Americans that have been in the outfield, she takes over for Allie Newland. You've got to stand up to the pressure.
Her sister played for South Carolina, and her sister completed her eligibility last year. The 2-2 pitch with a 3-0 lead for the Tigers. Grounded right side, and it's fouled by a few inches. Coffey, Lassiter, Bergeron, Ruderty and Bedell each have base hits in the first. The 2-2 again. Swing and a miss. Good job by Hodges coming out of the bullpen to get a couple of strikeouts and end the inning. But LSU puts 3 on the board against the Crimson Tide. Garrett. By the way, Auburn fans are happy. Auburn has picked up its first SEC win, 2-1 the final over Kentucky. So Auburn, under a new head coaching staff, wins for the first time in SEC play. Chris Malvo and his wife Kate getting their first SEC win. If that name sounds familiar, it's because they have an association with McNeese and UL, and certainly a lot of coaches and players who've come up in these parts. Out at first on the sling toss, over by McKee.
LSU currently number 4 in the latest RPI rankings, Lynn. How dominant has the SEC been this year? 8 of the top 10 schools in the RPI are from the SEC. And in the top 25 rankings, 12 teams are in the top 25. Just an incredible lead.
Dukeshire, who has homered in 3 straight games coming into this one, settles for a single right here, although it was well struck. A liner to Hodges' left. She had no chance to get to it at shortstop.
That one comes in on the right-hander. Got the fat part of the bat on it and just sent it right back up the middle. Nice piece of hitting. First hit of the ball game for the Tide.
And the first base runner for the Crimson Tide as well. Here's Alexis Papillo, the DP. This very brisk wind should work in the favor of Berzon. Her main pitch, her most effective pitch over time, is certainly the drop. And she puts a lot of that downspin on it and will induce a lot of ground balls. It will take a mammoth blast to get one out of the ballpark tonight. And if you hit one out tonight, Garrett, you've earned every inch of it.
Absolutely. You know, Sydney said the secret to her recent success is reviewing film. She was quoted in The Advocate saying, "The longer you play in the SEC, the more you learn what to look at. Take film seriously and study it. You'll learn how to beat these hitters."
Look at that changeup and the throw down in time for the out. Strike him out, throw him out. Actually, that's not the third strike, and we're going to have some kind of argument here. That's Pat Murphy. Every one of his Alabama teams have gone to postseason. Are they appealing? Are they going to ask for a review here?
Ruling on the field is the runner is out at second base. Alabama's challenging the ruling on the field. The play is under further review.
All right, let's check the count, too. So you heard the umpire say this is the first challenge for Alabama. Safe or out at second base.
Dukeshire only had 1 stolen base on the year. Bergeron with a dart a little bit high, sliding around the tag.
I don't think so. I thought the tag was there.
Avery Hodge catches it high, comes down.
Right there. Well, yeah, that angle I think proves your point. You know, you were talking about Berzon and her film study. Hitters do the same thing, though, don't they?
Don't they? Yeah.
I mean, it's a cat and mouse game. Let's find out what's going on here.
Those hitters now have 2+ years of footage to look at for Sydney Berzon. Both of those All-American seasons. Last year, a 20-game winner for the Tigers. I think this first challenge by Coach Murphy might actually pay dividends.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner is out at second base. This is Alabama's first challenge of the game.
I knew my old umpire eyes wouldn't let me down.
Ooh, here's a nice look. Tag in the chest, and the right arm is not quite to the bag yet. Great call.
Just an
by
inch
Birmingham.
there, maybe. Bergeron has thrown out 3 of 9 would-be base stealers, including the one she just got. So Dukeshire caught stealing on the closest of plays at second base. Papillo with a 2-2 count. Rolls it right side. Berzon can't get it, and that's a base hit. That ball was perfectly placed. It was Berzon's or nobody's.
And I think she would have had to scoop that and flip it without barehanding it. I mean, that was a tough play for her. Nice job beating that out for the infield single.
This Crimson Tide team leads the SEC in stolen bases and attempts. But look at the success rate. 0 for 1 tonight. But my goodness, they've been magnificent in stealing bases. They're 9th in the nation, by the way. And guess who leads the country in stolen bases? A team about 35 miles from here. Southeastern Louisiana.
That's impressive.
And has for years. A 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Valentine was late. Salem Hawkins, the shortstop, is on deck if the inning is extended. 1-2 pitch wasted outside. Garrett Wolbert, Lynn Rollins with you on a breezy day here in Baton Rouge. That wind is blowing with force straight into the plate. The changeup misses. And now it's 3-2. There's the wind. You get a little bit of a reprieve if you can pull it down the right field line because the Mike Moore Performance Center building blocks some of the wind. This is a ball headed up the middle. Nice backhanded play. What a grab and flip by McKee. Maddox McKee on the backhanded side gets it over to Hodge. Well done to end the inning. Last time, she hit the ball sharply up the middle. Haviland got her glove on it near second base, but it trickled past her into the outfield on the carom, and Coffey never stopped. She was running around the bases like an ice cube on a hot griddle and got to second base on a very close play and later scored on the Lassiter base hit.
Coffey started the hit parade. LSU scores roughly 60% of their runs in the first 3 innings. The Tigers have now outscored their competition 59-5 in the first inning this year.
That's almost beyond belief, isn't it?
Strike first, win big.
But to only yield 5 runs in all the first innings this year?
That one too far off the plate. Coffey works herself ahead 3-1.
The bullpen continues to warm up. Alabama can use 4, maybe 5 pitchers. The 3-1, a little bit off the plate. Coffey is aboard again. Her on-base percentage is remarkable. It's going to be around 600 right now after she's reached base twice on a double and a walk. And Coffey now has walked 38 times at the top of the order in this, her 37th game, and she struck out 8.
Unbelievable. Leads the SEC in free passes.
Alabama catchers are second in the conference in stopping base runners from stealing. Valentine has caught 3 of 7. Base stealers have been good 43% of the time against Alabama. Lassiter had an RBI single last time. She ripped a line drive to right.
She had a great series at Georgia in Athens, went 5 of 10, 5 RBIs, including her first homer as a Tiger, a grand slam over the center field wall.
How's that for your first home run? You can't do better, can you?
Absolutely not. And she's been an incredible presence in center field for the Tigers. You lose an All-American like Sierra Briggs, a Gold Glove winner, and be able to plug in a 2-year starter from Ole Miss. That's a huge pickup in the transfer portal for Beth Torino.
Well, center field has been such an iconic position, both offensively and defensively. It seems like for generations now, but the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 center fielders for LSU have been remarkable. All-America type players at that position, one right after another.
There's Sierra Briggs, now an a volunteer assistant with the LSU Tigers. She will play in the AU Pro Sports Softball League coming up a little bit later this spring.
Coffey was off with the pitch. It's fouled at the plate.
But to think back of Briggs, Aaliyah Andrews, A.J. Andrews, I mean, Gold Glove winners, first-round draft picks in pro sports.
Briggs.
Emily Griggs, unbelievable.
That's a good take by Lassiter. I ran into her father briefly during the right before the game, and he was quite proud of his daughter, but certainly keeping it in perspective. And a very jolly sort. Lassiter takes a nice pitch. That one worked its way on the inner half of the plate, and she was not expecting it there. Hodges has done a really nice job in relief.
She has struck out 3, given up a hit, and walked 1. That froze the bat on her shoulder.
Here's one of the Blast sisters. The other one is on deck, Tori Edwards. Bergeron and Edwards have combined for 21 home runs and 90 runs batted in. This might be another one. Way back. It is caught by the left fielder. Lauren Johnson takes away the home run as she goes. I suspect that catch is going to find its way around the country a few times, don't you?
Just unbelievable the way she was able to track that ball. I think the wind played a little havoc with it, maybe knocked it down, and just great body control going into the wall to take it back.
And not only was her timing to the wall and the leap very impressive, while she was in the air, she even arched back more, turning her body into somewhat of a question mark, and was able to make that play. That was a beauty. Look at all the folks enjoying the weather.
Johnson currently on deck.
It'll be her first at bat. Sydney Berzon has not walked anybody. She gave up a couple of hits, one of them on the infield in the second inning. She has struck out a batter. That was Vandergrift to open the game. We play in the third. So far, Berzon has not really had that pinpoint control of her changeup like she normally has. That off-speed pitch, still a work in progress tonight. But she's got a good one. That's flicked foul back into the mid of Bergeron for the strikeout, number 2 for Berzon.
Let's see the offering here by Sydney. Little off-speed, loops in. Tried to shorten up the swing, and it got right by her bat.
Here's Johnson. Lauren starts with an open stance. She closes it as the ball is delivered and flicks that one foul up into the netting on the right side.
Johnson just made the Webb Gym catch in left field. This is her 9th start of the year. She's a .400 hitter. Not bad for a sophomore.
14 hits in 35 at-bats, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, 12 driven in, which is a pretty nice number for only 8 previous starts. "3-0 Tigers." Johnson makes a bid for a base hit and drops that one between Lassiter and Rudity. So Lauren Johnson not only providing spectacular defense, dumps a base hit into right center field. These teams have played a lot. LSU leads the all-time series 47-43. Last meeting was in the first round of the SEC tournament. In the early part of SEC softball, it was in no particular order. LSU, Alabama, and Tennessee. Those were the big three, and I mean big three.
Those are the teams winning the regular season and tournament titles every year. Tennessee, the first team to play for national championship. Alabama, the first SEC school to win one. Top of the order now in Vandegrift, who struck out swinging to start the ballgame.
You know, you talked about the RPI earlier. In LSU's case, the schedule features 39 games against 18 participants in the 2024 NCAA tournament, including 4 who made the College World Series, and those would have been Alabama, Florida, Texas, and UCLA. 3 of those 4, of course, in the SEC.
That has been the MO for Beth Torina. Every season in Baton Rouge, this is now 14 of them, they have had the top 10 toughest schedule in the country. She wants to test this team early. You know you got to be ready for Southeastern Conference play.
That's a call, third strike. Berzon freezes Vandegrift.
To the left-hander. Boy, that had great run to it. Falls just across the plate above the knees. Got to protect a little better than that.
It's the second time Bergeron has sent Vandegrift back to the dugout. And here is Larissa Pruitt. That's high. Pruitt grounded out to McKee last time. And she goes the other way, and that is caught out in left field by Jaden Leno. So a base hit by Johnson with 1 out, but no damage done. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. And we move forward to the bottom of the third. LSU 3, Alabama
5 this year.
You know what it amounts to, Garrett, and this is not an overstatement. Most of the time during an SEC weekend, it's the same caliber of softball you're going to get in a super regional.
Absolutely. You think about what's going to happen at the SEC tournament at the end of the year. The last 4 teams in the semis, I mean, that's like watching College World Series games.
Here's Tori Edwards. She struck out in the first inning. Brea Hodges came on in the first, and she's pitched well in relief. Edwards struck out against the starter Winstead, and it was her only strikeout. Edwards is very strong. She was a sprinter in high school, a sprinter of some note. But for the last 2 seasons, she has deadlifted 405 pounds. She goes down on strikes again. Not her best night so far.
Nice job by Brea Hodges to challenge one of the toughest hitters in the Southeastern Conference and come away with her 4th strikeout in relief.
Here's Ruderty. First pitch swinging, grounds it under the glove of Haviland. Ruderty is 2 for 2. Ruderty is just so consistent, so steady, so predictable, and so good over the course of her career.
And you know, she doesn't get enough respect for her game. She's constantly in the lineup, back-to-back 300 seasons. She's LSU's active career home run leader with 16. This is somebody who is a force in the middle of the lineup.
And she's also got one of the best arms from right field you will ever see. She's got a showcase arm in that corner outfield position. Here's Bedell. Savannah getting more playing time lately, had a base hit and drove in a run last time. There's only one player in this lineup for LSU that's not hitting 300. 3 400 hitters, 5 300 hitters, and only one non-300 hitter.
Wow.
That's dropped the other way for a base hit. It gets out to the left fielder Johnson on a couple of hits as Bedell just slaps it to left field. That's her second hit.
She has stayed red hot through the South Carolina series. We see her here going the opposite direction, just flicks that one into shallow left field. She had 4 hits and 8 at-bats against the Gamecocks, and now 2 early singles here against the Tide.
Here's McKee. She struck out in the first inning. McKee will have to wait. Hodges has given up 3 hits now. 2 to Bedell and 1 to Ruderty. And Hodges struck out McKee back in the first. This is game 1 of the 3-game series. It's hard to believe, Garrett, that including tonight's game, there are only 20 more games in the regular season. Here's a bouncer through on the right side. Ruderty rounds third. Here's the throw. It skips past the catcher. Here comes another Tiger for the run. And LSU adds to its lead. 5-0 LSU.
Oh boy, Savannah Bedell. Now another runner comes home to score.
Now they are saying that the ball is in the circle and the pitcher clearly in the circle with both feet. That would negate any further advance by the base runner. But we'll see how this is sorted out. Pat Murphy quickly to the plate umpire, but there's no indication they're going to overturn anything.
How about Maddox McKee putting this ball in play, and with 2 on, Beth Torina aggressively wants to unload the bases. Pruitt's throw comes in and gets away, and now watch Savannah Bedell chugging hard for home. She'll score standing up.
Well, it was Maddox McKee who checked up once or twice on the base paths and then decided to dash home herself. And apparently they're going to rule that the play was not dead. That run is going to stand. And that's a weird one. So Ruderty scores on the base hit by McKee. Bedell scores on a misconnection at the plate. And McKee came around to score on the error. So an RBI single for McKee. And everybody winds up crossing the plate. And here is Jaden Leno. Leno wraps it to the right side. It's gobbled up by Haviland. She gets the out at first. Let's go back and look at Maddox McKee and where the ball is in the circle. McKee, all right, that's legal. She's taking off. She is taking off, and then, of course, the pitcher had nobody to throw it to. But I don't think both feet were inside that circle when McKee started the dash from third base.
And was it McKee or was it Beth Torina in the third base box that sent her home?
Well, regardless, it was a very heady play. And we heard in preseason for weeks that this would be a team much unlike the last couple of years with the Tigers, that they would be the Go-Go Tigers. That's G-E-A-U-X, of course. Nobody called timeout. The pitcher was a little bit outside the circle when the dash from third started. Here's a drive hit well, but Johnson is out there to take the liner. So Leno lines out to her counterpart, and that is the end of the inning. But the Tigers get 3 more, and we go to the fourth. LSU with 3 in the first, 3 in the third. 6-0 home team. Berzon and her teammate Coffey down at third base are on the top 53 watch list for USA Softball's Player of the Year award. Boy, that's a list of who's who players across the country. This ball is tagged. Rudity back. She's got it. Rudity on the warning track with her back to the infield, makes the catch.
Tiger fans here will bow to her defensive presence. This one had a ride to it. Running back to her right. She just played in her 200th career game. She started 156 in a row. That's the kind of play you expect from a redshirt senior right fielder.
She is all business on the softball field. Brooke Elstad grounded out to second last time. One ball, one strike. Alabama, 14 games above 500. Overall, it's won 27 of its 40 starts. 4-5 in the league. That's a foul ball. Alabama has won 6 SEC regular season titles, 6 SEC tournament titles. Berzon records her 4th strikeout.
Lynn, actually the last time that LSU was in contention to win the regular season crown, 2019, they had to play Alabama in a final 3-game series, and the Tide swept them. That was the 1 versus the 2. LSU finished runner-up, and Alabama won the 19 crown.
Well, just to show you the consistency of this team, other than the COVID year, when there was no postseason, Alabama has been in 24 straight regionals. 15 Women's College World Series with 1 national championship, and that was in 2012. So this certainly, from a national standpoint, has been one of the faces of college softball for a long time.
Absolutely. You know, 7 days ago, LSU was in first place in the SEC standings, ranked number 3 in the nation, and then they lost a doubleheader to number 10 South Carolina. Now 6-3 in the league.
Duke sure pops this one up. McKee at second base squeezes it, and that's the 3rd out. A 1-2-3 inning highlighted by a fine back to the infield running catch by Mackenzie Rudity as she neared the right field wall. It took only 10 pitches for Berzon to get her team back to the dugout. It's 6-0 LSU over Alabama.
Down in May.
With 1 out in the 1st inning. Coffey takes a strike. That levels the count. She has done what a good leadoff hitter does. She has doubled and scored and walked.
Hodges had a nice run in relief where she retired 5 of 6 batters, gave up a walk, and then last inning in the 3rd, back-to-back singles by Rudity, Bedell, and McKee caused a little havoc on the base paths.
Coffey is such a versatile offensive threat. She can touch and go, she can slap, she can bunt. She can swing for the fences. She'll spray the ball all over the field. And of course can run. And exhibits a very good eye at the plate.
All-time Danica Coffey, top 10 at LSU in batting average, triples, walks, and has a .468 on-base percentage, second only to All-American Bianca Bell. Not bad.
Her on-base percentage this year is right at 600. And it's going to go up. Another slap hit with authority to the left side. Coffey just lays the fat part of the bat on that softball. And she's been aboard 3 times.
Great start to the weekend series for LSU's senior, who missed the majority of last year with a torn ACL. She is back healthy and seeing it well.
Here's Lassiter. Jayla is 1 for 2. She had an RBI single in the first. That was against the starter Winstead. And Hodges struck her out in the last at bat. This is hugging the left field line. It is gone. You can puck her up and kiss that baby goodbye. Her second home run. Jayla Lassiter rips it down the line. Her papa is in the stands tonight. He's happy. Lassiter's happy. Tiger fans are happy. It's 8-0 LSU. Jayla Lassiter, not one you would think coming up with home run power, but that ball drifted in. She turned on it on the inside part of the plate. And this one is just over the fence, down the line. Lassiter holds up that finger as she rounds the bases. Look at the joy in her gallop.
Great piece of hitting off of Hodges. Puts it just inside the foul pole.
So as it turns out, LSU is only 3 outs away on the defensive side of winning this game in run rule fashion.
That was just the second home run that Hodges has given up all season. And a huge hit for Lassiter. We talked about the first home run she hit, a grand slam in Game 2 against Georgia. That game she went 4 for 4 and set a new career high with 4 hits. She was a starter for 2 straight seasons in Oxford. She'd never gone 4 for 4.
Bergeron has singled and scored and was robbed of that home run by the tremendous leaping catch by Lauren Johnson. Changeup is high. Three in the first, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth for LSU. That's a strike in the upper part of the zone.
Alabama has been run ruled just once this year. That was against number 16 Arizona in the first 2 days of the season. They lost 9-1. They have not lost by run rule in SEC play.
This will be a souvenir. Oh, that's the way to do it. The adult grabbed that ball and gave it to that young lady, and she will never give it up.
She better not.
Let's see who's calling for it. It's the second baseman, Haviland. Here's Glory Tori Edwards. She's had a rough night to this point, a couple of strikeouts. Ruderty is on deck. Edwards takes another strike. She fought. No, they call that a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. No, they did call it a strike. Now the scoreboard is correct at 0-2. 1 out, nobody on base. 8-0 Tigers.
LSU now has 21 games this season with a home run, and 9 of their last 11 games they've gone yard.
Edwards would like to see that pitch again.
Maybe go the opposite field with it. That one on the outside part of the plate. Nice job by Hodges to not give Edwards anything to pull.
Edwards has extra base hit power to all directions. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded right back up the middle. That one is over second base and on into center field. So Edwards redeems herself with a base hit after 2 strikeouts. And the Tigers are starting to solve Brea Hodges.
Nice compact swing, quick bat. That one gets into shallow center field, and Edwards is on with LSU's 11th hit of the game.
And the 7th off Hodges in relief. Here's Ruderty, who has 2 base hits. 1 off the starter Winstead, 1 off Hodges. That run, that pitch is in the dirt. Edwards is away and makes the stolen base. We told you she was a sprinter in high school on the track team. A close play at second base, but Edwards is safe with the headfirst slide. That's a strike to Ruderty.
Ruderty started all 59 games a year ago, made all SEC second team, hit .306.
This ball is tagged to center field, but it's going to be caught for out number 2. Vandegrift out there making the play. This brings on Bedell. She's working on a nice evening with a couple of base hits. The Tigers literally have players across the United States from coast to coast. California and Arizona, Kansas, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and New York all are represented on the Tiger roster. And if you take a look at that on a map, it looks like a big, giant half smile at the bottom part of the United States. And we've got a new pitcher right here. And we'll take a break as Alabama, for the second time, summons the bullpen tonight. It's 8-0. Tigers are leading in the bottom of the 4th. We've got a pinch runner for LSU, and that is Samaya Jones. She is running for Edwards at second base. Savannah Bedell looking to go 3 for 3 tonight. A single in the first inning, the same in the second. The pitch lifted over the net on the left side, and that's a souvenir. Nice catch. And another transfer from the adult who made the catch to a youngster seated right in front of him. Look out. That one bears in on Bedell and makes contact. Runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Just the 5th batter that Winstead has hit all season in 48 innings pitched. But now 2 on for the Tigers with 2 out.
And McKee is at the plate. Maddox has struck out and last time produced an RBI single. That one floats in for a strike.
LSU with all the talent they're bringing back, chosen to finish 6th in the SEC preseason polls. Berzon, Coffey, and Lassiter picked for all SEC honors. Alabama was chosen to finish 10th by the league's preseason poll.
Which is not a common spot for them.
No, not at all. Typically top 4 in the conference. And that's the case when you make the College World Series 3 of the last 4 years. We were talking about it off air. I like bringing the starter back in Winstead. No reason to show LSU the other 3 pitchers that you could throw for the next 2 games.
And the Tigers are 3 outs away in the top of the 5th inning from a run rule victory. It's 8-0.
Season including 2 in SEC play, once against Georgia, once against top 10 South Carolina.
Berzon looking for another shutout. Can the play be made at first base? Not in time. Papillo is able to beat that one out. That's her second infield hit. So a leadoff man aboard. And Garrett, that's the first time that the Crimson Tide tonight have been able to put its leadoff batter on base. Kinley Pate, a junior outfielder, is going to run. So Pate running at first base. Here's the catcher, Riley Valentine. Valentine reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning with some nifty work defensively by McKee at second base. Valentine, a junior from Phoenix, Arizona. And the pitch is tall, ball 1. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Alabama. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Tigers. And 2 of those 4 hits, Garrett, have been on the infield for Alabama. 1 ball, 1 strike on Valentine. Hawkins is on deck. The pitch, bunted foul behind the plate. There's action tomorrow. Same teams, 6 o'clock on ESPN2. And then at 4 o'clock on Sunday on ESPNU. LSU's next home game following the SEC series will be the 9th of April against Louisiana Tech out of Conference USA. Valentine takes a call, 3rd strike, and that's the 5th strikeout for Berzon. That one got a little piece of the edge as it floated over. A borderline pitch. Berzon got the break. And here is Hawkins. You know, Garrett, we can throw numbers all around the place. This one spins from foul territory into fair territory, and it's picked up by Edwards for the out. So Hawkins hits a gyroscope that started foul and then took a left turn back into fair territory.
And the freshman first baseman for LSU never gave up on this ball. If she did, might have ended up having somebody on first base, but she tracks her down in the baseline. Great job.
So 2 outs now. The Tigers are 1 out away.
Throwing around numbers.
Yeah, to me the most impressive number for Berzon is the number 0, which represents no walks. This is punched foul.
Really the only game this year that I've saw where she got into trouble with walks was game 3 against Georgia. They were going for the sweep. She ended up loading the bases, and a Georgia player hit one off their performance center for a grand slam. That is one of the only pitches I think she'd want back this year. She has been very sharp.
The 1-strike pitch to Johnson burns the outside edge. The crowd comes to its feet, sending out encouragement to Berzon. 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at second base. 8-0 Tigers, 5th inning. That skips away. The runner takes third. One ball, 2 strikes on Lauren Johnson at the bottom of the order. The pitch. That's a mitt popper, but it's high and away. Pinch runner Pate at third. Coffee feels this in foul territory. With a win, the Tigers would go to 33-4. They would be 7-3 in the SEC. A loss by Alabama would mean its record is 27-14 and 4-6 in the league. The 2-2 pitch from Berzon, looking for the shutout. That's foul by inches. Well hit and rammed past third foul.
I think the Tide still have a little fight left in them.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Take a look at this one. Nice angle. Bounces in fair territory and ends up to the right of the bag.
Berzon in search of her 5th shutout of the season. Can she get it on the 2-2 pitch? Edwards can't get to it in foul ground.
Alabama lost their first 2 series in SEC play. They lost their opener against Georgia last weekend, but then came back to win 2 games in a row and win their first SEC series. They have plans on a top 8 seed and really going deep in the postseason. They could use a series victory here in Baton Rouge.
The 2-2 pitch. Hit to the left side. Coffey's got it, straightens and throws. LSU may not be able to part the Red Sea, but it has controlled the Crimson Tide tonight. 8-0 LSU shuts down the Crimson Tide. Berzon's 5th shutout of the season. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the winners. No runs, 4 hits, and 1 bobble for the Crimson Tide. This was a wire-to-wire win, obviously, for LSU.
Congrats to the LSU pitching staff. The first shutout in SEC play of the year comes against the top 25 Crimson Tide. Now 12 shutouts for the LSU pitching staff. 2nd best ERA in the conference.
This represents the 16th run rule victory by LSU this year. Berzon throws her 15th complete game, as the LSU pitching staff now has 27 complete games as a unit. So the Tigers will